destinations including Hajj and Umrah, along with other services to meet all your pharmacy needs. For more information, contact Masters Pharmacy on 01733 567 208 or visit us at 303 Lincoln Road, PE1 2PH.
Masterminds Tuition Academy is for your high schoolers, your something to provers, your subject strugglers and keen learners, your brave jumpers and fist pumpers. Affordable personalised learning plans are delivered through our centres in schools across Peterborough. But not to worry, we also provide online and home visits with flexible timings. Whether it is maths, English, science or 11 plus, Masterminds is a must. Find us on all socials and visit our website mastermindstuitionacademy.com or call us on 07516 166 003. Masterminds, master the matrix.
Mar food store Lincoln Road triangle te inno rush o balle hoy tusani amba ne pure mulk vich role
पाकिस्तानी सौगातां जी अंब ले लो जामनू ले लो पाकिस्तानी ताजे मिठे अंब ते जामनू आ गए जी
ਯਕੀਨ ਕਰੋ ਜੀ ਭਾਈ ਨਾ ਮਾਰ ਫੂਡ ਸਟੋਰ ਵਾਲੇ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਵਰਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਤੋਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਬ੍ਰਾਂਡ ਦਾ ਅੰਬ ਮੰਗਵਾ ਕੇ ਪੂਰੇ ਯੂਕੇ ਨੂੰ ਨਸ਼ ਲਵਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨੀ ਜਾਮਣੂ ਵੀ ਭਾਈ ਉਹ ਜਨੇ ਨੇ ਆ ਪੁੱਤਰ
Amar Food Stores, Al Mashu, fresh halal meat and groceries. Address 613B Lincoln Road, Triangle, Peterborough. Telephone 01733 687374. Amar Food Stores, Meyar ka naam, Munasab Daam.
Thinking of laser hair removal but worried about cost? Well Skin Clinic, Peterborough's #1 aesthetic clinic, offers 0% finance on courses of laser hair removal. We perform thousands of treatments using the Soprano titanium in our prestigious clinic. Virtually pain-free and suitable for all skin types, our team of aesthetic professionals can help you achieve your goals affordably. Well Skin Clinic, making life-changing aesthetic treatments affordable for all. 40 Cowgate, Peterborough. Call or WhatsApp us on 01733 555540. Satisfy your cravings at Ibrahimi Buffet Restaurant. Enjoy a tantalising variety of Chinese, Italian, Pakistani and comfort food favourites, from starters to desserts. Kids under 5 dine for free, so bring the whole family to our restaurant at 63 Sycamore Avenue. Open every day from 5pm to 10:30pm. Call us on 01733 313131 or book online to reserve your table. Ibrahimi-restaurant.co.uk. Every bite is a delight at Ibrahimi Buffet Restaurant.
You could be driving, you might be cooking, you could even be working. But whatever you're doing, you're also listening to Salam Radio. And if you're in business, your potential new customers could be listening too. So talk to them and let them know what you have to offer. Advertising on Salam Radio is affordable and effective. And by doing so, you're also supporting this valuable and important voice within the community. Call 07866 319 679 or find Salam Radio online and across social media.
Assalamu alaikum. There you go. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Education Matters. This week the episode is homework, and we just like to say thank you to those of you that got involved. If you'd like to get in touch, give us a call on 01733 602 133, or you can text us on 07441. I'll say that again, sorry, 07411191062. You can also leave comments on our live stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter or Twitch. And those of you that are watching this later on, please do still get involved by leaving your comments, questions that could be discussed in later episode on Education Matters. So I'd like to welcome you back on the episodes of Homework. Earlier we were discussing the dilemma of homework. You know, is homework essential, and so on. And we had very good arguments and points there. Now we are looking to move on to the strategies for an effective homework. And in this segment, we'll share the practical strategies that students can use to make their homework time more productive and also less stressful. I think that is something that we really need to spend a lot more time on. And, from time management to study techniques, we are going to make sure that we got you covered in all strategies that you need to for an effective homework.
Thank you for that, Mehtab. So really, really important segment in this debate of homework. So strategies for effective homework. So we need to make sure, obviously, homework is effective. We're not just doing homework for the sake of it and ticking a few things off our to-do list, as you say, or we're not just doing homework to not get attention for 20 minutes in school. So strategies for effective homework. So certain principles should be observed. So first one, students should see the usefulness of homework. Teachers should therefore explain the purpose both of homework in general and of any individual tasks that they are setting the students. Which is, I think, what I just mentioned. So just to elaborate on that one, if the students do not see the usefulness or can relate it to the content or syllabus in school, they have already switched off.
Why am I doing this?
Yeah, even if they do the homework, it'll be at a very minimal effort. So usefulness of the homework is absolutely vital. Tasks should be interesting and varied. So you mentioned Sparks Maths earlier. That does keep it interesting because it keeps probing you on your weaknesses, and it will introduce new questions
and games.
Yes, and the games and the XP boost points, whilst keeping the skill consistent. Yeah. So that's really important. So they would do it in a more interesting and varied way. Good classroom practice also applies to homework. Tasks should be manageable but achievable. So again, there have been some homework tasks which are not manageable within the time frame, especially when you've got homework from other subjects on the same night or same couple of nights. Different tasks to be assigned to different ability groups. Yeah. Differentiation, which is key in any aspect of education. So, for example, not giving my set 5 year 10s the same homework I would give my set 1s in year 10, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I mean, just to elaborate on that in terms of, for example, if you're in maths, most of the maths classes, as soon as you get into year 9, they are sets in ability. And, the homework that we can speak for maths is always assessed based on abilities. I just wanted to add in terms of year 11s. Yeah. Year 11, a lot of schools have started doing is for maths, for example. I keep talking about maths because that's what we do. But please do, teachers from other subjects, get involved and let us know if there is anything different. Start doing past papers. So you've got past paper to do every week. And the students are seeing the results of that. They're getting to see how the questions are laid out in their exams, and also getting that exam practice has had a massive, all my classes, I think that's the biggest winner that we had with, with the mastermind tuition as well. With the practice of, I've had students, when they open up the exam paper, they'll be like, oh, I can't do this, right?
Because it's the first time they've seen that question
and
in that way.
Had 100%.
Or written in that way.
And then we had students, they'll open up, and then, because imagine every week you're sat there and you're doing the paper, and then when it gets to your real exam, you open up the paper, it's there in front of you. So advice to all the parents, if you want to support your year 11 students for an effective homework, what we would recommend, there are various different websites out there. Speak to the specialist teachers, where you can get past papers. Just Google it, Maths GCSE past papers, English GCSE past papers. Get your child to do a past paper. Right now, I think they should already be having these practice. So if they don't get that from school, it's time that you give them that practice every week. So when they open up their real exam, they'll be like, oh, I've been doing this every week. I know exactly what to
And
do.
to be fair, we're getting better at that. With you mentioned masterminds earlier, we get daily messages on there about useful tips, websites, so many resources which are free on the internet. But it's just a case of someone guiding you to that direction.
Yeah.
And then it kind of makes everything so much easier for
And
the
I
parent
just,
and the student.
of course, and I think while we're talking on this subject, closer to the exams, we always set up a community for students as well, for all year 11 students to sign up to, where they are given free hints and tips from specialist subjects,
Work papers,
and past papers as well.
modelled.
Excellent. Yeah, so effective strategies if you want to.
Yeah, so I've got a couple more which I thought were really important. So while homework should consolidate classwork, it should not replicate it.
Yeah, 100%.
Home is the outside world, and tasks which are nearer to the real life and the use of language that is used in homeworks, if they are appropriate and relevant, I truly believe homework would be more effective. A case of just, I know we keep saying about retaining information, but you can retain information in other ways. It doesn't just have to be duplication of the same question over and over again. The skill can be duplicated, but the questions obviously can be varied. And lastly, if homework is set, it must be assessed in some way and feedback given. I know we keep banging on about maths, but that's, like you said, that's who we are. So we're maths specialists. So with Sparks, the feedback is given, the assessments there, your tutors. I know as a form tutor in school, I get kids from all different year groups asking me for modelled work on Sparks, so that's my feedback there. So it's very, very quick to get feedback from teachers. And while marking by the teacher is sometimes necessary, peer and self-assessment can also encourage. So I'm not saying mark your homework with your peers or anything, but you can definitely discuss your homework with your peers. So
how many of you allow your child to have their friend over to do homework? I personally, peer assessments or peer learning, or like, you know, when we have when you're in the classroom, and we will always say,
think, pair, share.
Yeah, so we will also say, okay, discuss your answers with with someone sitting next to you.
Because sometimes they learn more from their peers than
100%.
Than the teacher.
Yeah, and I think it's a question for parents out there. How many of you say, okay, every Thursday you're gonna go to Ali's house and you're gonna do homework with Ali, and I want to see that you've done it. The next week Ali comes to your house. Just what I mean. So I think
it's a way of making it more interesting. It's a way of 100%. Making it more sociable.
It
doesn't have to be a chore.
That's another tip for parents. Allow your child and their friend, with the supervision of yourself at home.
Even if, for example, I can't do that in my house. For example, I'm a parent. I can't attend to the needs of more students doing work for whatever reason. But kids themselves nowadays, especially with the mobile phone devices, they're so quick at taking screenshots. They're so quick at editing.
Yeah.
You're so quick at, if there was like
you can
Chinese whispers, how quickly would Chinese whispers go through a WhatsApp group?
Yeah.
In the same way, have you tried taking a screenshot of a question on your homework and maybe sending it not in a group chat or anything like that, but to somebody you trust, to somebody who you know will
if you're stuck on this question,
and be responsible.
100%. And I think we got Brother Fraser just adding on to this. The peer learning definitely works if the students are interested and willing to improve their performance, and that's something that I wanted to touch upon.
Yeah.
Please, this is something that has to be set in a routine and has to be done through trusted methods and means, because you don't want to be like, yeah, you're going with Ali, you guys are going to do the homework. Most of the time, there will be cases where they're just copying, one student's copying the other students, or one guy just doing the homework, and that is used for both. So it is important that you're collaborating, you are working together, and helping each other, learning and improving your learning. I think as a parent, the pairing up your child with a classmate to the homework, in terms of for it to be effective as well, if your child is complaining is too difficult, and then you're like, no, do it, or I am sorry for just pointing out some of the parents, but how many of us made that mistake of, helping a bit too much with their homework? So when your child found the homework difficult, because you want your child to be the best in the class, you just Googled the answer, or you told them the answer, right? I know that happens. I know it has happened. So I think.
Are you guilty of that in the past?
Well, I
Is
think
this confession time. Yeah?
confession time for my little cousins, nephews, nieces. Yeah, I mean, I think it's important as a parent to be very honest with what your child can do and can't do. If you're there and you're completing the homework for them, their teacher will think they know that skill. They will go to the school, and it'll be very difficult for that teacher to know,
identify the weaknesses.
Identify the weaknesses. And when it comes to the exams, they will get those questions wrong. So
it's important to support.
Yeah.
Don't do the homework for them.
Yeah, please do not do the homeworks for them. Support them. Make sure they are independent doing their homework. So those are the ways. And please do also, if your child says, okay, I had so many parents email me say, my child is finding this homework difficult, we can adjust those. Teachers can adjust those homework. If they set a homework for the whole class, and if your child is finding that difficult, then as a teacher, we're trained to do that. So please do speak to the school, speak to the teacher and say, look, my daughter, my son found this difficult. Is there anything that you can do? And the teacher will adjust that for you, or see if there's anything else. So then your child is also making progress.
Absolutely. I think you've kind of nicely led us into our segment 3.
Excellent.
Which is about parent involvement.
Yeah.
And support. So, I'll let you lead on this one, but I've got a couple of points on this section. So, a couple of pros for homework from earlier. One of them was actually homework helps parents know what's being learnt in class or what's being taught in class. So it is a avenue for you guys as parents to kind of get to grips with the scheme of work. It's also an opportunity for parents to, for example, follow the scheme of work as well. Not thoroughly or anything, not rigorously, but if your child showed you a homework on ratio, let's say on week 1, and then it switched very quickly to geometry in week 2, and then by week 5 you're doing ratio again, you kind of know that actually, wait, there's something wrong here. So you can actually monitor the syllabus and the content very subtly in the background without peppering the emails and teachers and staff at school. So you can monitor it from home.
Firstly, I think all parents, anyone got access, to internet. You can go onto the school website. Majority of the school will have their scheme of learning, or available for you to look at. And I think it's very important for all parents to know what your student is doing in school. With so many different teaching and so many different new segments of education being added, right? And there may be some that need clarification. There may be some that make students confused with some lessons. It may be a conflict with their religion, with their culture belief. So it is important you as a parent, know what your child is doing in school, what they are learning in school, what they are being taught in school. So the way you can do that academically is make sure you have the scheme of learning. It's just a quick email. Can I please get a
picture, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I mean, your child can go to school and say, can I get the scheme of learning? What we're going to be learning this term, this whole year. You can put that up in on a wall at home, and then you could be like now and then. Yeah, it prepares the child.
I think it also you kind of would probably be able to do a very tricky part of teaching for us, which is bringing real life examples into those topics.
You're going to be doing fractions tomorrow, so
and then you can link it to money, you can link it to cooking, you can link it to so many different things around the household.
So as a parent support, first of all, make sure you as a parent know what your child is learning in school. That could be done by printing out the scheme of learning and putting it on the fridge, at home, on the wall, anywhere. In order to help...
Take the family pictures off and put the math scheme
100%.
I'd say.
in terms of making the homework, the learning effective, imagine every day you're looking at this. I mean, how many of you drive from work to home because you take the same route? You don't even think about driving. You just drive because you know the route, because your brain is used to that. So imagine your child seeing the scheme of learning, or seeing maybe something about one of the topic on the wall, and seeing that every day. So you as a parent, I think, should be encouraging your child to make sure that the environment that they are learning, okay, it is in a way, information is there for them to retain. They could be just sat there as a family bed looking up on that poster about something to do with atoms or biology or physics, whatever it is, and that will help them to retain that knowledge. And in terms of environment that we talked about earlier, do I have to send them all to the library? It doesn't have to be. It could be a table at home, in the kitchen, where you're like, okay, between 7 to 8, you can sit there, you can do your homework. Get them to sit at the same place, keep that routine of that's where they're sat, they're going to do the homework. There should be no mobile phones unless it's being used for educational purposes. They're going to be on their TikTok every minute. Their focus is not going to be on that homework. So it should be like, for this hour, or I would say even break it down. Do half an hour, 5-10 minutes break, then do another half an hour. And that half an hour has to be very effective. They're just working. Okay, they are not speaking to someone. And I know it can be difficult with families in the house. Okay, but it is important that we prioritize our child's learning. We can't expect them to have an effective homework if we are not able to provide that environment. And the environment could be, you can go in your room, you can go into the front room, for example, if you guys are sitting in the other room, or you can go into the kitchen, sat there, do the homework. Provide a very quiet environment, know what they are learning, and make sure you do not do the homework for them.
I just got a message on Facebook. Well done, lads, doing a really good job. And that was sent in by Zahir Clinic Centre. Any idea who that is?
Shout out to the Zahir Clinic Centre. I just want to also
big up Zahir Clinic Centre.
I don't help them because I can't teach, and I end up giving them the answer. So we're googling answers. Just ensure they are working. Just make sure the homework that it is completed, and you are providing the environment where they are learning. So in terms of the parents, what we are looking to do, make sure you know what they are learning in school. You know what day they set the homework, what day the homework is due. You and the child knows exactly what day they are doing the homework at home. And please don't say, okay, Monday you come back from mosque for 6 hours, you're going to sit here and do homework. No, please do not do that. Break up their learning. They should be doing, like one homework, let's just say Monday, one on Tuesday. So half an hour up to an hour every night. Spread it out, please. And it is very important that we do not overload them, and we are mindful of any anxiety, any emotional, any stressful issues. And we are having that conversation. If they are saying, oh, I'm finding this homework difficult, please don't say, no, go get on with it, or get your brother to help you. That is not the answer.
I think also there's a new one this year in the school I currently work in. There, even just today at tutor time, there was 4 days in the week where the school has allocated support clubs.
Yeah.
Twice after school, twice during lunch times, different days. And that's the school providing the devices such as iPads ready and charged for your child to use it. Teachers for specialists, for subjects. For example, the maths club has the maths specialist teachers. So if you're struggling with the homework and you're getting anxious about your homework, it's an area where you can go, but the parent needs to know as well when these homework clubs are running at their schools. And then you should encourage your child to use those clubs, whether it's for 5 minutes, whether it's for 20 minutes. If they're struggling
again,
with
have
the
that timetable, know what's going on.
Because, like you said, main reason for that would be to cut out the anxiety. Or if someone is actually genuinely worried about their homework because they can't answer the questions and they tried everything they could, then you need to then utilize the support clubs before the deadline. I think it's really important.
I recommend the book Deep Work by Cal Newport. Taking the distractions away is a key of getting any work done. Yes, I agree 100%. I think I had another point which I wanted to mention, which I totally is gone out of my head now.
Was it to cut the PlayStation days from 7 days to 6?
No,
So that we can fit this homework in?
no, I think it was to do with, making sure you, oh yes, it has come back to me. It just leads to our next point as well. In terms of, there are parents who are saying schools don't have good communication with parents. If they did, parents could help more. To some extent, I'm not going to say I disagree with that. It's a very fair point, but I would say, personally, as a teacher, my experience has been parents are, when they go and sign up for that school and the school is saying, yeah, we are using this system, but you need to go home and make sure you register. Unfortunately, not all parents do. On that system is where your child's homework is, where you can do the parent pay, where you can do the any notes or any parents' evening, everything is on those systems. Make sure whatever software system your school is using, you are signed up to that, and then you are reading those emails. We communicate with the system that we have at the moment. It's a very regular, twice a week they would get that information about maths. And I know not every parent reaches that. Not every parent, opens that and goes through it. Right, we got, not got long. We just wanted to, there's homework can go on forever. And, it's a very, very good topic that we have today. But we just want to wrap that segment and just go on to striking the balance. Okay, striking the balance is very, very important. Do I let my child sit there for, an hour and a half and constantly do TT Rockstar? They're in primary. It reminds me of, goodness gracious me, when he said, when he's complaining about his AAB, it should have been AAA. And then he turns around and he's like, the child, I think is about 8, 9 years old.
I can't remember. I think you're a bit older than me, mate.
I think, finally, we are getting to explore the art of striking the balance between the academic responsibilities and a well-rounded life. We can sit here and talk about the importance of homework and what we do in school, but at the same time, it is important of the downtime, the hobby, and the extracurricular activities that your child is involved in. Before I pass it on to Shamir for a few points to add up on that, I think, making sure, your child is involved in the things that are happening in school. That you mentioned about after school clubs, there are clubs going on every day. In school time. So then your child is seen, because sometimes you'll have the students walking, oh, did you go to this club? And then there'll be one child, oh, I did, and they'll feel left out. Make sure, there is a, in year 11, I would expect a student to be able to sit down and do an hour and a half if they're doing like a paper, because the exam would be that long, or 2 hours, maybe some of the exams. Our exam, I know, is a whole day, but just talking about most of the exams. So I think it is important as a parent, how long your child should be. You should know that, because you know your child best. Primary school, if you got a primary school student, having them to sit down for a whole hour doing something, I don't think it's healthy. Talk to them, find that balance with them, and make sure whatever they're doing is best suited for them. We only got 60 seconds. I apologize. We got a lot to talk. Quickly.
So just in summary then, just to summarize this topic of homework. So students may need to demonstrate their understanding of a topic to progress.
Yep.
That at least is a reflection of the real world. Mm-hmm. What's not helpful is when students are peppered day and night with information that they need to then regurgitate on a piece of paper. Mm-hmm. For positive outcomes to come from homework, parents and teachers need to work together.
Yep.
It depends a lot on the type of homework provided, as well as the age of the student and the need to balance homework with time to do other things in your life. So thank you for joining us on this illuminating journey into the world of homework. We hope you've gained valuable insights and strategies for making homework an effective and manageable part of your education. And
remember, learning is a lifelong adventure, and Education Matters is here to help you every step of the way. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
You're listening to Salam Radio, and it's now time for